Hey, how's it going? I wanted to reach out to the community of people who suffer from PNES, have these seizures. Um, I made another video a few years back about cannabis and PNES and how that's helped me in my journey. Um, a lot's happened since in my life since that last video. I'm still using cannabis every day to help me cope with life. Um, just, um, but I wanted to share this video and share something else that's helped me a great deal, even more than cannabis, I'd say. Meditation actually is a pretty beautiful story. Through one of the comments on the last YouTube video that I made, somebody recommended a doctor, and that's all. It just gave me the doctor's name and said check him out. So I googled the name, and it turned out she was in New York City, and I'm in California, just outside of LA. And so I thought, what the heck, I'll just email her anyways and see if she knows anything or anybody out here. And it turned out that her partner, who she had created this treatment plan for people with these types of seizures, had just moved to LA. She moved to Glendale, and I live in Pasadena, or I was at the time, I think, and it's like 15 minutes away from me. So I ended up seeing this doctor, and she helped me out a great deal. It was mostly just therapy, talk therapy, but the number one thing that I took away from it was the meditation that she introduced me to. As my personal journey with these types of seizures is my anxiety and my stress level. I've had these seizures for about 15 years now, and I've learned that my stress and my anxiety are intimately intertwined when it comes to my seizures. If I have too much stress in my life, any kind of stress, even just traveling, I found that for a while I was traveling a lot around the world. I was all over the world. But I started realizing that every time I would come back, even though I would have an amazing time, that I would tend to start having seizures again. I would go into a bout of, a month or so of having seizures, and I learned whether the stress was good stress or whether the stress was, just bad stress, like loved ones being ill, or even just I've had a couple of kids born. That's really stressful. That will tend to, over the long run, I found any sort of stressful situation will lead me to eventually having seizures. So learning with my therapist telling me about meditation, I think very similar to cannabis, meditation is something that it's a holistic medicine. It's not just a pill that you take. It's something you really have to learn. Like with cannabis, you can't just smoke a joint and you're healed. You got to learn how the plant can help you, how that specific type of medicine is going to help you where you're at in life, and then that's always going to change. So your relationship to holistic medicines and holistic healings are have to be changing and growing with you. And it's the same thing with meditation. It's something that needs to be practiced daily, and it's something that you will grow in. And as you change, we all naturally change. You will learn how to utilize it to best help you in your situation. In the case of having seizures, having to mitigate your stress, if that's your situation like it is mine. I don't know for sure if everybody has these seizures for the same reason. I know obviously not the exact same reasons, but from what I've read and understand, that anxiety and depression, which I suffer from, go hand in hand with these types of seizures. And I found that meditation helps my anxiety immensely. It's really hard to to even explain because I'm not sure how it works. Although I have read a lot of amazing literature, reputable, peer-reviewed sources that say that meditation can truly change your brain. You can heal yourself. Read the literature, it's out there. They're just on the cusp of exploring a whole nother side of consciousness that is amazing, that I think we're really going to learn to utilize in the future. I think it's the next step in evolution. But anyways, I digress. But meditation has helped me immensely, and I would encourage anybody who suffers from these types of seizures to look into it and see if that's something you want to do. If you're at all interested, I would say try it for a month. Try and meditate every day for 20 minutes for a month, and I guarantee you, if you're doing it even remotely right, you will find some form of benefit. And I guess I'll talk a little bit about the type I practice. And when I say remotely right, that's a little misleading, because I don't think there's any one right way to meditate. There's many different ways to meditate, many different forms. All I think are good. Some people say this is the way, and other people say no, this is the way. I don't think there is one way. I think whatever works for you is what works for you. But the type that I use is very simple. I think anybody can use it to do this type of meditations. I begin just by focusing on my breath. I usually set a timer just so I can forget about time and not think like, how long have I been meditating, or anything, so I can just completely forget about time. I usually set a timer. I'll just set a timer for 20 minutes and say, okay, next 20 minutes, I'm not going to worry about anything else. And that's important too, finding a time where you can just have complete 20 minutes all to yourself. I usually do it at the end of the day. Sometimes I'll get an opportunity during the day, but usually it's at night for me. And I'll just set the timer, hit go, and I'll just begin by focusing on my breath, the up and the down, just getting in that cycle, that rhythm, just intimately in tune with each breath. I mean, like, I like to picture it as almost like you're watching a movie. And if you know the way film works, you know, it's individual frames and they're all just flowing by, you know. But time, I've heard some people talk about time like that. The time is divided up into each little frame. So with meditations, it's simple as spending your awake conscious being, putting your awake conscious being inside the frames of the movie, you know, and living in each frame and losing yourself in each of those frames. And the breath is a gateway to those frames, so to say. If you just focus on your breath, each up, each down, you know, I kind of look at it as like a wave. You go up and you go down, and you go up and you go down. A lot of people look at it as like a circle too, like that's a beautiful thing. You know, you come up and then you go down, and then you come up and then you go down. That's a beautiful way. But that's, I have other, that's the basic form of my meditation. It's as simply as focusing on your breath. It's like, could be in a statement, that could be it. How do you meditate? I focus on my breath. And it's as simple as that. Typically what I've been doing recently is I'll focus on my breath, and I'll get to that place. You'll notice your body completely relaxes. Your mind becomes stiller. Your thoughts will still come, but all you need to do is observe those thoughts. Simply observe them without judgment. Don't try and stop your mind from working, or your thoughts from flowing, because your mind naturally will just run, and that's okay. That's totally okay. But don't engage those thoughts. Don't interact with them, so to say. You just observe them as what they are, chemical reactions in the brain that are just constantly going. And And I think the idea behind, or from what I've come to understand, why this helps people with these types of seizures so much is it trains your brain to step back from that constant flow that we've created in our minds, this story that we're always adding to a little here and there, and that's always being played nonstop in our minds, and we've gotten, or at least I've gotten to the point where I believe this story. I think it's totally true, whether it's good or bad, because it's just constantly running in my head, my mind, and my thoughts. I know this might sound a little, I might be getting a little confusing here. I apologize, but we're always hearing this story in our minds, and I've learned that a lot of what that story is, a lot of my worries, my anxieties come from believing in that story that is constantly flowing in my mind. And a lot of that story isn't really true. There's a lot of what ifs, a lot of things about the future, a lot of things about the past, things about day-to-day life that are just, I'm about to have my third child, and I'm a stay-at-home dad, and I have these seizures. I'm like, how am I going to take care of my kids? Like real worries that tend to engulf our daily lives. But what meditation will do will take you out of that story and put you in the present moment where we always are. And that's the beauty of meditation, is that the place that meditation brings you is always available. It's always at our fingertips. It's right here. The present moment. Right here. All the time. And once you learn to be able to step back into the present moment, out of your story that is constantly going on, life becomes a lot easier, a lot less stressful. You can just enjoy it more. You can learn to tune yourself into different frequencies. I might be getting real trippy here, but I've learned that through meditation, that everything has a vibration in the world, and love as a physical emotion, as an action that is output from ourselves, it has a frequency, it has a vibration. And through meditation, the conscious state that meditation brings you to, you can tune yourself to these vibrations, and you can tune yourself to love, you can tune yourself to peace, you can tune yourself to gratitude, just being grateful, and you will learn to be a naturally happier person. I know this is my story. Who knows if this will help you or anyone, but I think it's helped me a ton, and I've been meaning to make this video for a long time to share with this community, because I think it's especially for this small community, I think it's bigger than we all know, because I've never met anybody with these types of seizures, but getting online and interacting online, there's a lot of us out there, and I just wanted to interact with you all, and say my thoughts and my prayers and my good energy and vibrations are for you and for your health, and to be a more positive, happy person. I know a lot of people get robbed of their happiness through this disease, and I just want to offer some semblance of hope that it doesn't have to be like that. And I know if you've just been diagnosed with these types of seizures in the very beginning, it can be an incredibly rough ride, but there is hope. You won't always have these seizures. I was told from my neurologist, who diagnosed me with pseudo seizures, that I would have them for the rest of my life. I would never hold a job. I would never finish in school. I would always be on disability. And none of those things came true. And now I'm a stay-at-home dad. I don't have a regular career, so to say, but taking care of children is a pretty incredible job. If you've done it, you know what I'm talking about. But just to say that, my doctor told me that I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing right now, and that's not true. So hold on to hope if you've just been diagnosed and you're having seizures every day and your life is a total mess. Because my life was a total mess. I was having 5-6 seizures a day. I was having up to hour-long seizures where, you know, people were coming to the house and having to like shoot me up with Valium while I'm seizing, you know, on the bed, just uncontrollably not able to, you know, it was I was a mess. And now I'm here and I'm in a really great place. So I just want to offer that to you guys who are struggling. I know it, and I also know a lot of what you'll find online are really crazy stories, but I think it's easier. People need to vent those things out. Those things need to get out. Sometimes I think people don't tend to vent the good, the better, more positive stories as much. I think that's just like how our society is. We're, you know, I don't know, but there seems to be a lot more negative stuff about PNES online than positive stuff about it, and so I want to offer you something positive and hopeful, not to negate all the negative stuff, because there's a lot of negativity happening, and it can really take over your whole life and change everything. So I'm not negating the negative stuff. I'm not making light of any of that, but there also is positive things that happen, and I hope, you know, this helps. Look into meditation, you know. Just remember, it's very simple to do. It's as simple as focusing on your breath and staying in the moment. Do that every day, it'll change your life. But like I said, it's a practice. You have to do it every day, or at least every week, or at least have the mindset every day of that. You're thinking of it, you know, even if you're not doing it. Yeah, sorry that was quite a long-winded one, but wish you all well.